we are looking at dependence, depending on Krishna. And next we will look at being helpless, depending on Krishna. So we can look at Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 57. So Krishna said, cetasā sarva-karmāṇi mayi sannyasya mat-paraḥ buddhi-yogam upāśritya mac-cittaḥ satataṁ bhava. Cetasā sarva-karmāṇi mayi sannyasya mat-paraḥ buddhi-yogam upāśritya mac-cittaḥ satataṁ bhava. Cetasā sarva-karmāṇi mayi sannyasya mat-paraḥ buddhi-yogam upāśritya mac-cittaḥ satataṁ bhava. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. We can look at the verse very carefully. This is what we should do. Every word Krishna says is full of meanings. Full. And they mean a lot of things, not only one thing. A lot of things in it. In all our activities, all our activities. So Krishna said we should depend on him. So what is dependence? Here, Lord Krishna didn't say depend on me and just sit down, don't do anything. I will take care. So you are depending on me. So you don't have to do anything. I will do everything. Krishna didn't say that. He said work under my direction. Work under my direction. Always. As I'm directing you, you should work like that. And Krishna said that is devotional service. Can you mute it or something? This is coming here. Right? Okay. Only if you're going to speak, otherwise it's muted. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. That is devotional service. And the result is we will remain fully conscious of Krishna. Remain fully conscious of Krishna. Here, Lord Krishna used the word mac-cittaḥ. Mac-cittaḥ. And Purport translated in consciousness of me. the consciousness of me. This is not the mind. This is not the mind. Mac-cittaḥ here does not mind, it didn't mean the mind, it's not the mind. This is the inner mind. The inner mind. Inner mind, we're looking about consciousness, the person, the soul. So dependent means what? The soul is connected with the supreme soul, not cittaḥ. The conscious of me. This is the soul and soul relationship. So in one word, Krishna is requesting that we should remove ourselves from the center. This is what it means, depending on me. Remove yourself from the center. Because the center belongs to Krishna. That is Krishna's position. We are not in the center. All along on the condition line, we are always trying to put ourselves in the center. And the consequences is always that we're miserable. And we're not going to be out of misery until we remove ourselves from the center. And let Krishna remain in the center. This is depending on Krishna. It is then the living entity is depending on Krishna, and everything will start working on that platform. Everything will be working on that platform. So depending on Krishna is our natural constitutional position. That is our nature, to always depend on Krishna in all of our activities. Then Krishna drives. Krishna drives the chariot. He drives our boat. He drives our car. He drives everywhere. Krishna becomes a controller, which is his position. He is always a controller. For Krishna to remain the supreme controller, we have to remove ourselves from the center. A mistake which we have been trying to do since. So depending on Krishna, it's a very serious word. That we are returning back to our consistent position and leaving Krishna on his own position. And things works in that way. Depending on Krishna does not mean no activity. So Krishna put the word here and work always. To work always. For example, we misunderstand what it means. What it means by Krishna is the doer. Krishna is the doer. Yes, Krishna is the doer. So Krishna is the one putting food in my mouth. Yeah? Krishna is the doer. So he's the one putting food in my mouth. Krishna is the doer. So I should not go and cook. I should just wait. Krishna will do everything. I should not go and distribute books. Krishna is the doer. I'm not the doer. So you go and distribute the books. You go and cook yourself. Harishwari Prabhu we were doing that. So Purport, from now I'm not going to Sanskrit. Because I'm not the doer. Krishna is the one distributing the books. So I don't have to go Sankirtan again. So Prabhupada said that is not the way. That is not the meaning. We are not the doer. It is not that we should not do anything. We should do everything, but we should know completely, be fully conscious of the position of Lord Krishna. That for everything that we do, he's the driver. That is, Krishna is the doer. That will give credit to Krishna. And you see the life of Acharya. This is how they live their life. All the credit they give to. You don't see any Acharya writing any book without the beginning from Mangalacharan. Mangalacharan, invoking the auspiciousness. What is that? The mercy of the Acharyas, the previous Acharyas, to the present, which will include Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the beginning. It begins from auspiciousness and also end like that with blessing. That's the standard. That is dependent on Krishna. And then Krishna makes everything very simple, very easy for us to do. Otherwise, everything will remain difficult. Everything. As it has been. It will always remain like that. Until we correct the mistake we are making. We're trying to put ourselves in the center. So Prabhupada just opened the purport in the same way, in the same mood. When one acts in Krishna consciousness, he does not act as the master of the world. See, just the first sentence. When one acts in Krishna consciousness, he does not act as the master of the world. One acts just like a servant. The servant does not own anything. The servant, say we say servant, a master. There's a difference between the servant and the master. The servant cannot say, okay, I'm not the doer. So everything belongs to a master. So he is the doer. So what is my position? I can't do anything. Misunderstanding. I heard that once there was a riot. It's a riot. Riot. We are used to that word. Riot. Protest. Right? Protest. The hands, the legs, other senses, they said today we are not going to feed the stomach. We will not feed the stomach. Because the stomach is just master, is a master, and all of us are simply busy working. And the stomach is just lazy, just doing, just taking everything. So today, no stomach. We're not going to be conscious of stomach. Now we have to be conscious of ourselves. No more Krishna consciousness. This is our life. Our life has been like this. No Krishna consciousness. Be conscious of ourselves. From time immemorial, we have been experimenting that. Who has become successful? A body, and nobody will be successful. Because that is not the way. Okay, so the hand does not put the food in the stomach. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. What happened? If you don't eat for 3 days, will you sit in the class and hear? 3 days fasting. You will hear anything in the lecture. So all the senses became very weak because they didn't take care of the stomach. They became very weak. The eye cannot see, the ear cannot hear, the leg cannot walk. So they discovered we have made a big mistake. The master's position is always very important. So let's go back to the stomach. So when they feed the stomach, all the dying senses become energized. So we have to depend. So say, okay, I'm not going to do sankirtan. I'm not going to cook for you. So you can go and wash your dirty yourself. You are the master. So I'm not the doer. So you wash your dirty yourself. Yes? If the master does everything by himself, what will you do? What will you do? Yes, you will fall down. If we are not in Krishna consciousness today, what will we be doing by now? Suppose you are not devotees, what will we be doing? You're not in Krishna because you're not chanting Hare Krishna. You're not studying Bhagavad Gita. What will we be doing? James had niches. Yeah? James Bond. Right? Or 7, whatever. This is what we'll be doing. Only sinful activities. There's nothing more than that. So the is to help us get out of our complicated situation, which we have created for ourselves by trying to avoid the necessary. Surrendering, taking full shelter of Lord Krishna. So Prabhupada said, just like a servant, one should act fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. A servant has no individual independence. He acts only on the order of the master. A servant acting on behalf of the Supreme Master is unaffected by profit and loss. What does that mean to us? Depending on Krishna and working only under the direction of Krishna, you are 100% free from all the miseries that are going on in material world. The threefold misery will never have effect. The three modes of nature will be completely off. You are functioning under the divine energy of Lord Krishna. That is dependent on Krishna. The fact of dependent on Krishna. Nothing will happen. This material world will go on. You will never be affected. You'll be here, but you are not part of the material world. But depending on Krishna. Now Krishna takes responsibility. The benefit of depending on Krishna. Krishna becomes responsible for everything. Our shelter, our protection, our maintenance, everything. Everything. If you don't depend on Krishna, we are going to be responsible for everything. Everything. Everything becomes troublesome. Every little thing becomes a big problem. Why people are so complicated in this world? Why are we so complicated? Because we are situated like a fish caught in the net. The more you struggle, the more entanglement you become. Not that you become free. But when it depends on Krishna, we have a clear direction of where we are going. What is our activity? The happiness always abound for those who depend on Krishna. Why? Because Krishna removed all the burden. It's Krishna's responsibility, not our responsibility if you depend on Krishna. Arjuna, the Pandavas, they killed 640 million people. To kill one person, you suffer. Very dangerous, even to terminate one life. Very, very dangerous. The blood of that person haunts you. You will not be normal. Anyone who has ever done this. Here, someone is killing 640 million people. That was the one counted. According to Bhagavatam, these are the number counted. But about 100 million were not counted. So it's more than 640 million people that the Pandavas killed. They are not affected by the reaction. Why? They acted under Krishna's direction. They depended on Krishna. They work under Krishna's direction. Just like a soldier can kill somebody, he will get promotion. If you kill somebody, you are going to be jailed for murder. But the soldier, on his uniform, under authority, kill somebody, you get promotion. Both have killed. What is the difference? The difference is that one is depending on government and one is independent. One independent will suffer. You carry the responsibility. But one who depends on Krishna will not suffer. Because Krishna takes the reaction. And Krishna doesn't have sin. Therefore, he is free. The devotees are free from sin because Krishna does not have sin. Depending on Krishna. So we don't have to worry about when the sun has gone to the south, when the sun has gone to the north. We don't have to check the auspicious and inauspicious time. We don't have to look at our activity, either it is good or bad. We don't have to look at anything. Simply act under Krishna's direction. We are saved. from all dangers. That you see throughout history. You see throughout history, through the old scriptures. Hanuman depended on Lord Ramchandra. He didn't use bridge to cross the ocean. He jumped over. Because of his dependence on Ramchandra. Hanuman will never do anything without the approval of Ramchandra. Never. He never do anything outside. When it is Ram, Hanuman is ready to do anything for Ram. He's ready. Remember, Hanuman has to pour the whole bucket of sindoor all over his body. Why? Because this will please Ramchandra. Just please Ramchandra. He's ready to do anything. That is the importance of depending on Krishna. Ramchandra gave intelligence, intelligence superior to anyone else in Ayodhya. Even as a monkey, he has intelligence more than others. Why? He depended on Lord Ramchandra. One day there was also a coup d'etat. You understand? Coup d'etat. A plot against Hanuman. This Hanuman, his own is too much. Let us block him. Let's block him. So they were Istagosi, all of them, they had Istagosi and share all the services. They share all the services. Every services they could think of, they share all to everybody leaving Hanuman. So Hanuman came. Depend on Krishna. Depending on the Lord. Hanuman came. He said, no, you cannot go. I want to go. No, you cannot go there. I have to service. No, there's no service for you. We have shared all the services. Everything is finished. If you go to him, what are you going to do there? Only go there to do service. There are no service, you cannot go there. Hanuman said, I have service. No. No service. We have shared all the services for everybody. So everything is done. So Hanuman said, You share all the services? Yes. We have shared the services. Finish. This one. All is finished. Hanuman smiled. There is one service we have not shared. Whatever intelligence we have done everything. You monkey. How can you say that? I say there's one service you have not shared. And I have to go and do that. Nobody believes him. What can you say like that? What are Brahmanas? What the Brahmanas did this? Brahmanas the head. We did this. How you a monkey come and tell us that there's something else? And one said, there's one service you have not shared. Which one? I don't say one day I don't trying to be yawning. Have you given that service to somebody? We forgot. You see? When the Lord is attending to people and you get tired and they yawn, who is going to do that service? So Hanuman entered. It depends on Krishna. You always succeed. How can Arjuna fight Bhishma? Not just about the races, in terms of fighting. How can Arjuna fight Bhishma, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Ashwatthama, both the elephant and the person, Kṛṣṇa? He was able to do it because he depended on Krishna. He can challenge them, but he can challenge anybody because he depended on Krishna. Fought with Shiva. Nobody fight with Shiva and succeed. Arjuna fought with Shiva. He succeeded. But Shiva was very pleased. Again, why? What is his secret? He depended on Krishna. Everything is made available. I depend on Krishna. So we have nothing to lose. We have no calculation to make. Therefore, do not hesitate. Do not worry. If you surrender to Krishna, you depend on Krishna. Depend on Krishna. You have nothing to do. Have nothing to do means you have no reaction in our activities. There's no reaction in whatever we do. We are free because Krishna is responsible for that. You simply have to depend on Krishna in everything. What Krishna is saying, all sarva-karmāṇi. Our success is guaranteed. Success is guaranteed. You depend on Krishna. Success is guaranteed. He simply discharges his duty faithfully in terms of the order of the Lord. Now, one may argue that Arjuna was acting under the personal direction of Krishna, but when Krishna is not present, how should one act? If one acts according to the direction of Krishna in this book, as well as under the guidance of the representative of Krishna, then the result will be the same. The result will be the same. You will notice, you will observe that a devotee will never have any problem until we deviate from the principle of Krishna consciousness. True or not? No devotee will have difficulty until when we deviate. Deviation means what? We are off the dependence of Krishna. We are not dependent. We have acted out of our own whimsicality, not depending on Krishna. No one acting on behalf of under Krishna will have any difficulty. Only when we step outside, we have difficulties. Any time in our life as a devotee, when devotees start to protect themselves, that is when devotee become insecure in Krishna consciousness. A devotee becomes insecure in Krishna consciousness when we are acting outside depending on Krishna. I don't know what will going to happen to me. That is, we have stepped outside. Let me do something to protect myself. We have stepped outside. There must be fear. Haunting any devotee who is not dependent on Krishna. There will be fear of insecurity of the future. A devotee who depends on Krishna will never have fear about the future. Check very carefully. We should look at that individually, not collectively. We should do individually. The time we are having insecurity in our Krishna consciousness, look at that time. The time we are very happy in our Krishna consciousness, also look at that time and look at the thing we're doing. Look at the thing we're doing when we are very happy and satisfied and very enthusiastic in our Krishna consciousness. Look at our activities, at our consciousness at that time. And look at our consciousness and look at our activities, the thing, whatever we say or hear or do at that time when we feel insecure in Krishna consciousness. Look at both times. You will see the difference. When devotee has stepped outside the dependence of Krishna, all the package that goes with that will be open. I'll be experiencing all that dualities that come with it. So some years ago, the sages gathered, just like Namisharanya, Sukatal. The sages always gathered for what? To discuss. So this time they gathered. What was the topic for discussion. Can a fully dependent devotee be miserable? Can a fully dependent devotee on Krishna be miserable? That was the topic for discussion. One who depends on Krishna 100%. Can that devotee be miserable? Can that devotee be under torture from material energy? Can that devotee think of giving up Krishna consciousness? No. No. It is capital no. And so Rupa Goswami also said the same thing, Dhira Damodara, in his book, Dhira Damodara. The same thing he repeated. A devotee who is fully depending on you can never be miserable at any time. No, it's not possible. We're miserable only when we are free, when we are not under Krishna, under Krishna. What's the question of fear? We won't depend on Krishna. It means there is something wrong with our relationship. We are not depending on Krishna. And we are depending on our intelligence. Right? We are smart. Smart devotees. We know how to plan our ways. That is a very dangerous position. What can our intelligence do? What can our intelligence do? What can they do? Alpha buddhi. What would that do? What would that do? Nothing. So either we depend on Krishna directly, like Arjuna, or we depend on Krishna under Krishna's able guidance of the spiritual master. The same experience, the same result. The Sanskrit word mat-paraḥ is very important in this verse. It indicates that one has no goal in life save and except acting in Krishna consciousness just to satisfy Krishna. This is dependent on Krishna. Depend on Krishna. That's what it means. Always thinking how to serve Lord Krishna. So where is the question of Maya? For a person who is always thinking how to serve Lord Krishna, how to make Krishna happy by our sincere loving service. What would be a problem for that person? It is said that if you put Mother Yasoda inside the fire, burning fire, put her inside with Krishna, it will be ice water. Ice water. And then put her in the heavenly planet without Krishna. That will be fire for her. Opposite. They depend on Krishna. It indicates that one has no goal in life, save and except acting in Krishna consciousness, just to satisfy Krishna. And while working in that way, one should think of Krishna only. I have been appointed to discharge this particular duty by Krishna. While acting in such a way, one naturally has to think of Krishna. So Krishna gave us service. Whatever positions we have, any positions we have in life, material position or spiritual position, it is given to us by Krishna to serve him. For those who depend on Krishna, they are going to be conscious of Krishna in that position, in that service. They will perform their duty fully conscious of Krishna, that I'm here because Krishna has put me here. And this service, it is for Krishna's pleasure. And have to do it for his satisfaction. And it depends on Krishna. When we are not in Krishna consciousness, we are not going to think that this service is Krishna. It is due to my strength. I have this position. It is due to my strength, due to my intelligence, due to my power that I have this position. Therefore, we will use that position to victimize other people. Even among devotees, it is happening among devotees. Then we will become insecure. Even in a devotional environment, there is a lot of insecurity. The reason is we are not depending on Krishna in everything we do. We're using our position as our own property. And then we see all of our students as our property also. Your property, you have to enjoy it. Is it not? What belongs to you, you have to enjoy it. If it is happening, the so-called spiritualists are falling down because of what? All are my properties. We don't see them as, we don't see our position as service for Krishna. We're seeing this is all my paraphernalia for my enjoyment. So you come to me. One who knows that this position, I am not independent, I'm dependent on Krishna and have to do this service for Krishna's pleasure, will never have problem. You won't have any chance of falling down. Fall from where? Huh? You don't have any chance of falling down because Krishna is holding your hand. Krishna is holding your hand. A child who is being held by the father will fall down. Fall where? It's only a monkey who is holding the mother will fall. The babies are holding. They will fall because they are dependent on their own strength. The kitten that is being carried by the cat, it doesn't fall down. From where? How will it fall? Because the cat depends on the mother. But the monkey depends on his strength. So it will fall down. And all of them will be an anxiety. Whoever happened to be at that time will be in trouble. Environmental forces will affect you. And you get attacked by a monkey. Depend on Krishna. We don't have a difficulty. Krishna take care of all the responsibility, everything. You can walk inside fire and nothing will happen. Fire will not burn you. Nothing. You can cross a express road with the closed eyes. No accident will happen. You can fight any demigod, challenge any demigod. Kṛṣṇa on his own, how do you call it, honeymoon, he went to heaven to enjoy the prerogative of the demigod. No single person challenged him. No one person. Everybody, gone. Why? Because of Krishna consciousness. He's dependent on Krishna. He can enjoy what is meant for demigod, free without challenge. What happened in Varanasi? Varanasi. How do you call that place Varanasi? What is the meaning of Varanasi? Varanasi. You did Bhagavatam. You have studied Bhagavatam. Bhakti Vedantas. You have passed Canto 4. You did Bhagavatam. Tell. What is the meaning of Varanasi? Bhakti Vedantas. I have a question for you before you ask me a question. Yes?
This way, Dhamma Swam system was.
Hare Krishna. Varanasi. Varanasi. Not Varanasam. I'm talking about Varanasi. Varanasi is a city here in India, not in America, not in Africa. It's here in India. Tell me. Varanasi. The city of Ganges. That's all? The Bhagavatam? Hare Krishna. Okay. What else? think all of you should go back and read Canto 4. Otherwise, I'm not going to allow your certificate to Bhakti Siddhanta. You won't get your certificate. You should go back and Bhakti Bhava. Go back to Bhakti Bhava. Go and refer. Varanasi. There's something that happened. There's a past time that happened that took place there. Nobody can remember?
2 rivers, Vara and Nasi.
Okay, someone already said that. I'm looking for something else. There's something else that is there. In connection with the topic we're talking. Karamamudi, he went to enjoy the prerogative of the day because nothing happened. But something happened there. It was that place. Something fell there.
Drops of Lord's tears.
Tears, that is Bindu Sarava. That's Bindu Sarava. Okay, this is homework. Go and research. Then we'll discuss. So make research. Yes. While acting in such a way, one naturally has to think of Krishna. This is perfect Christian consciousness. One should, however, note that after doing something whimsically, he should not offer the result to the Supreme Lord. Whimsical activities should not be offered to Krishna. Well, whimsical activity, independent action is whimsical, should not be offered to Krishna. All dependent activities is fit to offer to Krishna. When we depend on Krishna, our activity is for Krishna's enjoyment. One should act according to the order of Krishna. This is very, very important point. That order of Krishna comes through disciplic succession from the bona fide spiritual master. You will also see a devotee's program begins when the devotee becomes independent. When the devotee becomes independent, that is the beginning of your program. No devotee to be independent of Krishna. If we want to be successful in Krishna consciousness, we must give up this independent mentality, which must depend on Krishna. Depending on Krishna means what? That we will act as Krishna directed, as Krishna wants. And the spiritual master gives order, the direction. We should follow that. That is dependent on Krishna. All success will follow such a devotee. Therefore, the spiritual master's order should be taken as the prime duty of life. If one gets a bona fide spiritual master and act according to his direction, then one perfection of life in Christian consciousness is guaranteed. Hare Krishna. Comments?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj, for the wonderful class. We have international system. International system. The brahmacharis are a bit free. They only study the scriptures. They study the scriptures. The vanaprasthas are free from family life. The sannyas is free to go and preach. But the grihastha has obligations to the children, to the family members, and he has to go work. Sometimes he work in the government department to get money to take care of the family. So if you depend on the government or to the boss in the office, can you say it is independence?
Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they work for the government. We have evidence. Our system is perfect and complete. Like Krishna. Perfect and complete. Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they were government officials. Damodara, government officials. All of them, we have many. Pratapuda Maharaj, government official. He's a king. Bhakti Thakura, government official. We have many. From many government officials. They work directly with the government and they maintain their spiritual life perfectly without deviation. Why? They depended on Krishna. Krishna gives intelligence how to act. It's interesting to note that Navabhushan Shah was a king only in name. Sanatana Goswami told him, you only go about giving pain to other people. The real people who were ruling were Sanatana Rupa Goswami. And when you come also to Bhakti Dhira Damodara, the same thing with Bhakti Dhira Damodara. The British people were just there, but the executor of everything was Bhakti Dhira Damodara. He was doing everything. And the British, they remove their hand. They don't check what he does. Because they are satisfied with what he does. Devotee. A devotee. That is why the Prabhupada also tried America to see if he can get devotees into politics, become president of America and other places. But he discovered that it is too complicated. It is not like before. Too complicated. So he withdrew. So that, no, let's forget this. Very complicated. So we should learn from our previous acharyas. What were they doing? And Bhakti Thakura's life is a schedule of his entire life, the entire day, the whole lifetime. He has schedule that covers the whole day, and he follows that every day. Not that I promise to wake up 3 o'clock and do that for 2 days, then the next whole week I forget it. You didn't hear that from Bhakti Thakura. What you do? Come from Magadati today. Before you do it again, it's next 2 weeks. You see, you forget it. Some will forget until the next year. Oh, what? New Year resolution. Then you take it again. Before January is finished, forget. But Thakura didn't do that. He followed his vows. If I remember, it was Haridas Thakura who said, one who take vows cannot fulfill it is so contaminated that the face will not be seen. One who cannot keep to the vows taken. Such a big contamination that you should not look at the person's face. Contaminated. So anyway, that time is different from this time. So even if one is in government, don't have to in government. In the Bible it is said, give to Caesar what is meant for Caesar, and give to God what is meant for God. Means what? If you are working in office, do your work nicely. Then you come back to your house, do your bhakti nicely. Don't mix the two. That's the way you should do it. And Bhakti Thakura gave that advice, some advice from his own experience. All the things we do to take care of this body, our social life, we should also plan our spiritual life so that both of them goes together nicely. Okay? Thank you. I have a different program, another program at 9 o'clock. You have a question from there? Anyone? Okay. Good. Yeah, because there was I said I give you assignment, you search and tell me. Now you're asking me a question. You should search and then give me the answer. Otherwise, then we'll discuss it next time. What's the question?
What is very small? Maharaj, how we understand planning, like dependence here? Just now you were hearing dependence,
Okay, good question.
surrender,
Hmm.
and have a proper planning
Yes,
under
good,
the
good,
guidance of.
good question. So, depending on Krishna, if I make a plan, how is that depending on Krishna? Because I'm making the plan. Making a plan or arranging for a project, it does not contradict depending on Krishna. So we can make that, and depending on Krishna comes in when we present it. Yeah, Krishna, this is the service I'm planning to do for you. If you agree with it, then let it work. If it doesn't agree with you, don't let it work. And whatever happens, I'm satisfied with it. That is dependent on Krishna. When once, no, Krishna, this is what I plan to, and you must make it happen. It must be. That is not dependent on Krishna. Now we are commanding Krishna to do what we want to do. That's not dependent on Krishna. Dependent on Krishna means that we have the plan, see, we put it under Krishna. So Krishna wants it, it's okay. If he doesn't want it, it's all right. We are satisfied with any direction Krishna responds to. That is dependent on Krishna. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.